Okay, good afternoon, everybody. Going through today's price action, through today's trading, through today's opportunities. I have a confession to make. I sort of got tied up, and I was doing other things today, but I sort of got tied up on another chart, a 189 tick chart, and so I kind of got turned around until I went back to my 5-minute chart. Now, one of the nice things about the 5-minute chart is you can get a little bit of an overall structure. You can put like almost an entire day's trading action, price action on one screen. Okay? So let's see what's going on. So I have this is a VPOC, 1-day VPOC sitting right there. Here's the IB mid. The IB mid very often gives us a bias for the day very early on. As you can see, the bias for the day started off down over here, popped above and came down. This pushed up in the morning, this morning, then came down, came back up here into the 90-minute VWAP, or the 90-minute VWAP extension. Here is where it came back up into the daily VWAP extension and then sold up there, and then continued to sell. Okay, you can see the VPOC shifts after about 7 o'clock this morning. Move it over here a little bit. After 7 o'clock, this was the last gasp of the buyers. You can see where they continually tried to push it up you couldn't get it up here, couldn't get up to the daily VWAP extension. They couldn't get it above the 90-minute VWAP extension. They tried there, they keep trying, and then they just, about 7 o'clock this morning, they just kind of threw in the towel, and it just started selling. So you can see that on the chart. So as long as we're following this green ribbon down, this is the 90-minute VWAP extension. It's a pretty good guide for price action. Once it gets down here and starts mingling with the daily, you expect to see a pop up to VWAP. And if it goes much, if it penetrates here, then we've had a change in sentiment. Then we may be going upside. So, but it didn't. You can see the daily VWAP down here. Popped up, came down. Mostly the 90-minute VWAP was red. Popped up a little bit here, and then you see the VPOC right there, the little balls right there, the cyan balls. Price action popped up, and then the seller stepped in again, popped it down, and just pushed it down. So once we again we have the mingling of the 90-minute and the daily right here. What happened? Buyer stepped in. Right there, we had value area low. Buyer stepped in, drove it right up to VWAP, daily VWAP at 11 o'clock. And then that was it for the buyers. They didn't really, they had a little bit of a serious attempt right up here, which we expected, because once you start seeing the 90-minute and the daily VWAP extensions start coming down and start mingling with each other, and I'm not talking about straight down. Straight down, it's like there's nothing to do. We popped up here. If you didn't catch this guy, you caught the short right there at the VPOC, the 1-day VPOC. Popped up here, pinned, and then sold. And then the 90-minute VPOC right there, or 90-minute VWAP, just took off to the downside. And then we have this really nice sell-off at about, what was that on the 1220 candle? 1215 sold. So you had a pop up here. You could have taken that right there. When you saw those guys, you knew that they were gonna start selling off. Popped up back here. Here's RTH open. We retested RTH open. The buyers just couldn't get up there. The sellers just hammered them. And I was in Polly Walnut's room, and someone made that comment this morning, and you could see it on the dome. I didn't see the, I didn't have, volume up on this chart, so I couldn't see it, but somebody in the room popped up a really, really big volume candle showing somebody who was coming in buying. And they were doing it big time. So right here, the extension, and what's really interesting, and I see this a lot, I see what happens is that when the daily VWAP and RTH open converge right there and intersect, you usually have a move. You either have a move to the, and this was a move to the downside because the VWAP was red. If it was up above and came down and the VWAP was green, you'll very often see that right there, and then they would pop up to the upside. Here's your value area highway up here. Here's your daily VWAP extension cloud way up here. Here's the 90-minute VWAP extension cloud, and it was just, it just pointed like straight down right there. Okay, so you came down here. Now we started mingling a little bit right there. It was a nice mingle. We kept pushing value area low down. Okay, push value area low down, and then all of a sudden we popped it back up right there. There was probably some order flow down there, but value area low just bottomed out, and here we go to the upside. Once it came down here, it came down and started trading down in this area where these, like I said, where the 90-minute and the daily VWAP extension clouds merge right there. Come down, it merges right there, they trade down here, and then they're done. And then they just bounce right back up. You could have taken a long as it exited the cloud with very little risk, okay? And where's your target? Your target's up here, and I don't think it hit the daily VWAP up here. I came very, very close, came within a couple of ticks. Came maybe within 4 ticks of that, but came back up to the red VWAP and bounced off. And you see that a lot. We saw it 1, 2, 3 times, almost 4 times today, right? But now that you've exited this, okay, what happens is that you're targeting up here, and you're ultimately targeting back up here if you have enough, time in the day. So what happened is it came down here, popped up, rode the cloud right up through, or rode the 90-minute VWAP extension cloud right up to the daily VWAP, and then sold off again. And where's our target? That 90-minute cloud, right? So, and then you can see it popped back up almost to the 90-minute cloud. Right there, almost to the 90-minute cloud, almost to the VWAP, and that was on the 1550 candle. And then Mock Madness came in, and everybody started selling. They were getting out of their positions, so everybody started selling off if they were long from down here, and they were just riding back and forth. So it was a bit choppy today, but if you kept your eyes on the VWAP clouds, kept your eye on the VWAP cloud, kept your eye on the VWAP for your bias, okay, watched your 90-minute VWAP right there, kind of kept an eye on that because it would just slice through that and head down to the other end. They're kind of a little bit like Bollinger Bands, but and then you had the squeeze here, and then here's the end of the day. Pop down here, VPOC, your daily VPOC, your 1-day VPOC, came right back down to it and tested right there, and then bounced off. Retested, tried to retest, and they didn't get anywhere. And that's where we have wound up for the day. Anyway, I hope this has been helpful, enjoyable, and hope you made some money today. See ya.